Nikhil Chopra and Boria Majumdar with me in the studio. Nikhil, as a spinner yourself, were you happy with the kind of performance our spinners put up in the Asia Cup? I mean, these were conditions where they were supposed to flourish. They did reasonably well, better than they did in South Africa and in New Zealand, of course, but perhaps not as well in the death overs.
Well, true. You know, that's been Team India's problem, Shivani, over a long period of time, getting out there and bowling in the death overs. I guess, you know, when you're bowling in the subcontinent, these spinners have become seniors now. They're no more youngsters or, you know, who've just made their debuts. They must understand the condition and also the strengths of your own team. When you know your quicker bowlers are not the quickest in the world and come the depth overs, they'll be tonked around. So it's important when you're bowling those spells in the middle, you need to try and pick up wickets. You know, it's very easy in a 50-over game when there are hardly any field restrictions. You just spread the field out and look to, you know, just give the singles away and bowl very economically. But that will not help the team's cause. You need to try and set attacking fields, sometimes entice the batsmen, try and beat them in the air, look to pick up wickets. Because if you do that in the middle period, then comes the depth. When there are not so many wickets in hand with the opposition, they cannot go after the bowling with hammer and tongs.
Right.
That's been the issue.
Yeah. Let's just take a look at the number of runs we've been conceding. Let's take a look at the figures from Asia Cup itself and the runs conceded by Indian spinners against opposition like Afghanistan, Pakistan, Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. It was from the second match onwards, Nikhil, that we had three spinners. From the third match onwards that we had three spinners, and look at the runs conceded. This is not what we can afford.
Not at all. And this is thanks to, like I'm just saying, we have not been able to consistently pick up wickets. You know, you call it technology, but now even when the opposition knows your strengths and weaknesses, you need to be on top of your game. If somebody understands what are Ashwin's carom balls, you know, where he's looking to bowl the stock ball, it's important. Then you try and bamboozle the batsman with the kind of field settings that you're doing. I just feel that sometimes we're getting too predictable in an international game. Once you start getting predictable, predictability sets in, you know, you're done for. As a bowler, you're asking for trouble. So that element of surprise needs to be there.
Not a great way to dive.
We were discussing India's upcoming performance in the World T20. Nikhil had just given us a taste of, you know, the troubles that are there for India, in you know, the spinners especially. Boria, I also want to take your comment on death bowling. You know, we were talking the other day about Ashwin getting the final over and how there was a lack of calculation in that, and obviously India couldn't win that match. So our spinners are not really turning out to be any supporters to Shami Ahmed in the death overs. I also want my producer to run that Ashwin pitch map graphics so that I can also take Nikhil's comment on that. But Boria, first you.
You know, you're right. I mean, Nikhil was saying the fact that, you know, people are getting predictable, perhaps yes. But the fact of the matter is, even in the subcontinent, if you take a look at the Asia Cup, it was Ashwin and Jadeja who got you the wickets. Perhaps it was a mistake to keep Ashwin for the 50th over against someone like Shahid Afridi, who even miss-hit. In fact, that last shot was a miss-hit. I have seen that at least 100 times it was a miss-hit. Unfortunately for India, it went over the ropes. So you've got to make your calculations right and you've got to pick wickets. Unless you do pick wickets, whichever team you're facing. And India plays Australia, India plays Pakistan. Look at the kind of form these guys are in, whether it's a Mohammad Hafiz, Shahid Afridi or a David Warner. You don't pick wickets or a Shane Watson, they'll smash you. They'll smash you all over the park. Warner got 40 or 15 balls yesterday. It is the form of his life. So you've got to get wickets, whoever you are. Unless you do that, whoever bowls at the death, you'll go for plenty.
Yes, Nikhil, take a look at this Ashwin pitch map, if we can put it on our screen now. This is 3 overs in the death. And all the balls in the good length area, but no wickets for him. Would you do something differently?
Well, without a doubt, I'm just taking the best case scenario in terms of the opposition when they're batting. You know, when you're bowling in the depth, you know, as a batsman, you're going to go after the bowling no matter where you pitch. Good length area, is
right there.
Absolutely. That's spelling disaster. You're relying the batsman to get the elevation that he's looking for. You're relying him to extend the right arm. You've got to be aiming at his toes. And, you know, it's not hard to go out there and do that. If you're a single focus mind, say I'm going to try and slip in those Yorkers, you could go wide of the crease, bowl in the leg stump. If nothing's happening in the air, at least that angle, that in itself troubles the right-hand batsman. But of course, you know, when you're looking to pick up wickets, to win a game when your total is not too much, then you're obviously looking to bowl at good length. But when you're looking to save runs, Shivani, that's not a place where you want to be.
Absolutely. These were 3 overs against Bangladesh, 3 overs in the death overs, 18 balls, lots of runs given, no wickets for Ashwin. But it's not just about spin. Death bowling overall is a massive concern for India ahead of these championships, a traditional weakness really for India. And after a series of poor performances, one would also hope that the pacers are able to shake off the dust and rise again, because they will be crucial for India's performance as well. The pacers were not really able to take wickets, neither were they able to restrict runs. And Boria, that is a very tough situation for any captain. Look at the runs conceded by the pacers. Of course, in that first match, we had 3 pacers. Varun Aaron didn't complete his 10 overs. And look at the amount of runs we conceded. This is a huge headache for MS Dhoni, Boria.
Without a shade of doubt. I mean, except Mohammad Shami, you don't have anybody who's looking the part to control. And even Shami, you know, he bowls 4 good balls and then sort of bowls 2 balls which are hit out of the park. And length balls will not get you wickets. You've got to get Yorkers. You've got to pick up wickets. You've got to slow down the rate. This is a huge concern. I mean, I am seriously worried. Who's your, premier death bowler? Mohammad Shami and we still don't have an answer with 3 days left for the World T20. Unless that happens, India will once again suffer at the death. And the last 3 T20s, our bowling has let us down. England 2009, West Indies 2010, Sri Lanka 2012.
Absolutely. Final comments from you, Nikhil. Bhuvi doesn't seem to be, improving. He started off so well. In the subcontinent, what do you want him to see doing more?
Well, it's a very important point that Boria makes. Come the T20 World Cup, couple of days left and we still don't have a very settled bowling attack. Talking about Bhuvneshwar Kumar, even if the opposition's worked out in terms of video analysis and things like that, you still can go back to the basic, Shivani, in terms of using the crease. Go wide of the crease. For a quick bowler, at least you get the angle, try and fire in those Yorkers. You need to try and get some more variations. You can't get predictable. Unfortunately for our Indian bowler, apart from Varun Aaron, we don't have anybody who's close to 148,
and the problem is that even Varun Aaron's temperament kind of came into question, and he red carded himself. So we'll have to wait and see if he's learnt from that. Boria and Nikhil, thanks a lot for joining us. We'll keep building up our coverage to the World T20, analysing the things that Team India needs to do better.